I'm Daryl.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the
Chris
and Daryl podcast. All right, guys. Well, to kick it off, we're going to give you a little information on local events here in Stillwater, Minnesota. And just kind of share with you some stuff going on weekly. So you have a little info right at the beginning of the show. And some of them we're involved in, some of them we're not. And if you can make it out during the week, that'd be great. Chris, what do we have for some local events this week?
Well, first of all, it's very hard to believe that we are already coming up on the end of January 2019. I have a feeling that springtime's going to be here soon, so really appreciate everybody that does come out to Stillwater in the dead of winter. There's a lot of great happenings going on. I know on the 24th of January, it's Winterfest at the JX event venue. That goes actually Thursday through Sunday. And you can find them on Facebook. On the 25th of January, the Lions Tavern up there. They're kind of off Main Street off Nelson.
On the south end of town there.
South end of town. Beautiful patio. They have their winter gala Friday from 6:30 to 9:30. And they also started doing bocce ball outside on their patio. So I don't have much information on that. We'll get that. They do have a Facebook page that you can check out. I know that there's a couple yoga studios in town, and Pure Yoga on Sunday at 8 p.m. They're doing their 40 Days to Personal Revolution. So if you're into working out and feeling good and treating your body right, that's yoga is actually a great way to do it. It's I was kind of skeptical before I went my first time, but man, I tell you that's
Don't they do the hot yoga, or what are they? The heat yoga?
Oh, man.
What is it?
Yeah, I did that one time, and I felt bad for everybody in there. I'm not kidding.
You forgot to put on deodorant, or what?
No, I had a couple too many beers the night before. Oh, man, I was embarrassed, but I probably lost about 10 pounds of water weight on the ground.
Yikes.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's that story. A little TMI. There's a couple other things going on. You got the Greater Stillwater Chamber of Commerce that does their bags, bingo, and beer. You can hop on their website. That's 200 Chestnut Street. It's always good to get out and support the community and become involved in your community, because that's the only way you can really make a change, I guess, and take your community into the direction. So
well, and winters in Minnesota, as we all know, aren't the funnest thing if you don't have activities to do. It's good to get out of your house. It keeps your spirits up. It's actually good for your soul. Get out there, conversate with people, be a part of your community. Otherwise, you could just stay at home watching Netflix and
chilling
and whirling yourself into the deep, dark hole of Minnesota winter. We know where that goes. I don't need to say anything more about that. Definitely good to be involved with stuff. Get out there. Keep your body moving.
Keep your body moving and your mind working.
Yeah.
That's right. Very important. I do know that on the 26th of January, out in New Richmond, which is real close to Stillwater, it's about 15, 20 minutes just east, they have their winter carnival Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So it's kind of an all-day thing, and it's family friendly. So that's a good place to go. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening in Stillwater this week. As far as what we're connected with, Third Wheel Project hosts a weekly open mic down at the Tilted Tiki that starts at 6:30. All skill sets of musicians. Some of my bandmates will come out and will kind of be a backing band to the songwriters that pop in there, and if they want us to play with them, great. If not, we'll just sit and cheer on and try to support that local art. That's a good time. They have it's $2 Tuesdays that night, so you get a great deal on select rail drinks and beers, and $2 tacos, which are phenomenal. And they do some sliders too. Thursday night at the Lift Bridge, I'm there every week with a couple of my bandmates, and I'll have guest artists there, and we play in their tap room at 6:32, and that's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So one of the other things we're going to touch on during our podcast too is not only local events, local happenings, but local activities that you might be a part of or might like doing. An example, fishing. We live right on the river. If you're from New Richmond, if you're from Holton, Wisconsin, if you're from Stillwater, Hudson, all these areas, we're right on the river. There's activities to be done on the river, and it's a matter of meeting the right person or getting the gumption to get out there and figure out how to tackle opportunities on the river in the winter. It's everybody thinks, oh, the river's off limits because there's ice on it. No, not the case. Or it's too dangerous to go on the ice because there's a current. Yes, obviously you have to be very careful about that, but there's a ton of ice fishing to be done on Stillwater River and St. Croix River. I'll edit that out.
Well, and too, like I personally, I've been fishing my whole life. I've only been ice fishing once, and it was a couple months ago, and it was kind of, I'll admit, it is kind of creepy to me. Like I'm just not used to going out on ice. So if you haven't done it, folks, find someone to go with that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
And definitely don't just take your family out if you don't know what you're doing. And it's
Well, especially on the river.
The river, yeah.
The river is definitely, you have to have some insight on where you can and can't go. An example, I've been on the ice my whole life living here in Minnesota, and I was just out this weekend on Saturday on Centerville Lake, and my buddy who invited me out also is an avid ice fisherman, and I just trusted him. Yes, there's enough ice. You can drive your truck out here. Just come straight out to the spot. It's all fine and dandy, but no matter how many times you do it, at least for me, I got on the ice. There's no snow on the ice, so you're literally driving on what looks
Abyss.
like it's like frozen water. It doesn't even look like ice hardly. And
that's what ice is.
Yeah, frozen water. And I'm driving out there, and it's cracking to beat the band. And you hear, and especially when it was like 7 degrees out, so the ice cracks a lot more when it's real cold. It's making new ice and whatever. But I'm driving out there thinking, gosh, I usually am the guy that'll go drill a hole myself. I don't take anyone's word for it. But I know, in January it's usually always good. And my buddy was already out on the ice in his truck. But I'm driving out there with my daughter, and we got our windows down. We don't have our seatbelts on, just like a safety precaution because you want to be able to get out of the vehicle as fast as possible. It's cracking. I get out there, and my first question to my buddy was, so how much ice is there? And, the couple guys that were there were like, oh, one said 19 inches. The other guy said, oh, I don't really know. And I walked into the ice house and looked in the hole, and I was like, man, I don't know if I would have just driven across this lake knowing that there was that much ice. I ended up measuring it myself. There was exactly about 12 to 13 inches. The DNR says you can drive your truck on 12 inches. So,
ooh, man, that's a question that you ask before you go on the ice, Daryl.
Yes, I know. Well, January is always is always since for the I've been here for over 30 years. January's always been a good time to go on the ice, but 12 inches is what the DNR says, so obviously they probably double it. You could probably drive your truck on 6 inches of ice. I would never do that in a million years, but 12 inches is the minimum for a truck. And when you drill a hole in 12 inches of ice, and then you look at what you're driving on, you question if you should have driven out there on it.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, it was kind of fun. The whole time sitting there was listening to the bangs and cracks of the ice forming, and it was pretty cool. And to bring a little kid out there to experience that is pretty fun too.
Have you seen those? It's almost like an ice carousel. And they cut a big circle and drop a motor.
Yes.
Like, who'd have thought? Are they trolling? Are they drilling a bunch of holes and then trolling with their... So is that for fishing, or is that just because some guy was bored?
I think it started out as something for fun, in my opinion.
It's cool.
The first video I saw, it looked like I didn't see any ice fishing gear out there, but I just saw him doing it and being like, wow, this is cool. But yeah, troll. Whoever would have thought of that, dude? Trolling.
Well, a fisherman thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So you went out with your buddy, and didn't your buddy go out a few days ago and pull out like a 80-pound sturgeon?
Yes, on the St. Croix River.
I saw that picture, and that thing looked like that thing was a hog.
Yeah, a hog of hogs. And that was his first time ever sturgeon fishing on the St. Croix.
And he was out with some sturgeon
Fishermen.
That's what they do.
Yeah. And of course, he's the newbie out there. And within like a half hour of having a line down, he catches a whopper. And everyone in the area had to pull their lines up because this thing was taking 100, 200 feet of line every run. And yeah, so he had a crowd of people, and it was, and you can hear it in his voice too. It's so much fun.
It's a lifetime of a catch. I mean, you don't really, it's probably like musky fishing from what I hear.
Yeah.
You know. All right, so I've got a question. How in the hell do these guys pull up these, like an 80-pound sturgeon on a freaking pole that's 6 inches long? Because I can't catch anything with my 6 inches. That's all I'm saying. What?
Oh, well, no. You're using a heavier pound test regardless of the size of your rod. So you know your line's not going to break with whatever strength that you got. You know, so if you have a 100-pound test line on a small rod,
It seems like it'd be like a McDonald's straw that's
it pretty much,
I mean...
Yeah, so, but in his situation, because he wasn't outfitted with the right equipment to even be fishing these in the first place, in my opinion, I don't think, because I've never seen anybody out there like he was with a 7-foot bait caster.
Fishing through the hole?
But he was the only one in his ice house. Yeah, he was in his own ice house.
With a... Really?
So he's on one end of his ice house, and he's fishing out of a hole over there. And then in the videos that we can post later too of him catching this fish, that rod tip is down the hole, you know, because you can only raise it so high because you got the roof of your.
He's like pointing it down in the hole, trying to.
Well, yeah, it's bent down in the hole.
Did his friends move the ice shack, like lift it up and just get rid of the ice shack? Because
no, you think they maybe would have done that, but they didn't.
So he landed this thing in this little ice shack with this. Oh man, I want to see this.
Yeah, pretty fun stuff. The moral of the story on this, though, is, you know, he got an invite out because he met somebody. He went there and tried it. You know, it's kind of a crapshoot if you ever even catch one of these fish or not anyway, or to know to go to the right spot. And he catches a fish of a lifetime, and the excitement and the adrenaline, you know how it is catching a big fish.
Well, yeah.
It's awesome.
Actually, can I squirrel this for a second?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm up in Alaska. This is I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and there's this run that comes up into Girdwood of salmon, cohos, and they get a small run of kings. So there's these fish up there. Down south, I'd kind of relate them to almost like a brown trout. They're called Dolly Varden.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the trout family.
Yeah.
So I'm fishing for trout, okay? Fishing for little Arctic char. And I had I had a rod that... I had just left my bead, and I propped it on a stick, and because I use beads because the salmon will come and pick them up sometimes, and actually no, I take that back. It was a little fly. It was like a egg sucking leech, and so that was just in the water. So my rod's up, and it's about a 8-pound rod, and I'm using a lighter rod downstream from it because I saw these Dolly Varden. So I'm like, I'm gonna catch some dollies. And my big rod just slams down. Like the water took it or whatever. The stick fell over, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I reel my smaller rod in and sit on the bank, and I go over and I pick up my bigger rod and I start reeling it in, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm stuck on a log. Okay, and this creek is like, you can cross it with, it's a small creek. And I realize I've got this fish that is like not coming. And I'm like, oh shoot, he got wrapped around a log. Well, turns out to be a king salmon. I'm 6 foot. I landed this king salmon and I picked him up, and he was almost as long as I am. He was probably 5.5 feet. And a guy walks over train tracks and looks down at me, and he's like, "Holy Nike!" Like he said the other word, but he's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you just caught that." You can't keep kings in this little creek. You got to let it go because they're going up to spawn. And anyway, I caught this huge, ridiculous king salmon that was just massive, and the biggest king salmon I've ever caught. I'd guess it's in the 70-pound range.
Oh, dang.
Yep. And he had just started turning to his spawning colors. If it was legal to keep, I definitely would have, and because he'd have been great eating. He wasn't all super spawned out, but he had started to lose the silver and had pink tones in his body. And I got this thing to hand, and I was just, this is before iPhone, and I had no camera, and I really wish I did, but that was just such a cool experience. And it was probably kind of similar to your buddy's experience. Cause
I think it's similar to anyone who's caught a big fish.
It's just a huge fish, and you're not expecting it, right?
Yes.
Oh,
no,
man.
there's nothing more exciting about it.
Yeah. I could talk fishing all day, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me enjoy my squirrel moment.
Well, we could talk about squirrels, too, because I got a lot of those around
You
here as
got
well.
so many squirrels.
I got red ones, blue ones, black ones.
Dude, it's
rainbow-colored
We
ones.
should have
I
my
got it.
dad on the program sometime talking about squirrels, because the squirrels around my
Is
house...
he a squirrel hater?
He definitely doesn't mind them, but when they start getting on the woodpecker feeders and the bird feeders, because we feed the birds.
Yeah.
But man, they're baiting the squirrels, and there's just squirrels everywhere. And my dad's got this little Red Ryder BB gun, and he shoots them in the ass, and they take off.
So he's the Red Ryder.
He doesn't kill them.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't try to kill them. He just, you've had a BB gun fight before. It feels like a little,
Yeah, the BB guns that I've used,
or high-powered BB.
the pellet goes right through them.
Well, yeah, these squirrels know him by name, so it's funny to see him. I saw one fly off he'd managed to get on one of them hanging bird feeders, and my dad, it's so funny to watch him. We should film it and put it on the,
Yeah.
Yeah. This squirrel turned into almost like a flying squirrel. I could not believe how much distance he sailed. It's probably 10 feet to the curb, and these squirrels always take off across the street because they're like, oh, we got to get out of here quick. This squirrel jumped off this hanging feeder, knocked the feet. I don't even know how he got that much projection, because it's not like it was a tree he jumped off of. He jumped off this
swinging thing.
Oh man, but he launched, and he just flew, and I saw this squirrel body, and then he was like, it's just entertainment. I laughed.
That's the fun part of it too, is that you can get this love-hate relationship going with them.
The red squirrels are the ones that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
They get in. They do a lot of damage to your house.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, last year I had to get rid of 5 or 6 of them, and they didn't come back. Or no, I should say that was 2 years ago. And now last year I didn't have any red squirrels. I keep I got 2 black ones living on my property, and probably like 3 or 4 grays, and it's.
I wonder if we should maybe just start a squirrel relocation. Because I don't know.
Carlos Avery.
Is it actually legal to shoot a squirrel?
Yeah, they're small game, and that season is year round.
Okay.
That would be a fact check thing we should probably do, but I'm pretty sure that there's certain small game that goes all season or all year, and squirrels are one of them. You can hunt them all year.
Yeah. Well, I don't even care for hunting that much.
I believe you're supposed to have a small game license though to be able to do it.
Okay.
So if you buy your small game license in the spring or whatever, it's good for the whole year, and squirrels are fair game. I think crows and there's a whole list of stuff you can shoot all year round.
Well, I mean, the argument would be, it's like, I'm protecting my home, right?
Well, as cute as they are pests, and if they aren't taken care of, their populations get too high, and they become a major problem. So it's okay to shoot them. I personally like to see them running around. It adds a little wildlife aspect to your property.
I love the gray squirrels and the black squirrels. Yeah. They're really cool to watch.
They are. They become less cool to watch when they start building nests inside your parked vehicles.
Oh man, that's happened.
Yes, and it's
and they tear it up.
And actually, I have a vehicle sitting in front of my house right now that doesn't start because of squirrels.
Oh,
yeah.
Actually, that's probably why my dad has such a vendetta against them, because it's happened to his new Toyota Tundra.
Oh yeah,
multiple times. It's thousands of dollars. It's so I get it.
Yeah, and if they chew a piece of the wiring harness, then you're that.
Yeah, they're not so cute and fuzzy.
Nope. Then they start having that look in their eye like they're out to get you.
Yeah. I always feel bad, though, when I see one run out in the middle of the road and they're confused.
Yeah.
And it's like I always try to stop, and it's always sad to see one. My dog went and got one time and brought it into the frickin' house, and it was so disgusting and gross, and she'd eaten half of it, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. Speaking of getting in the house, this last fall, I'm hanging out in my house, and all of a sudden a full-on bat is flying around in my living room. And I'm thinking, oh, how did this thing get in here? That's all I was concerned. I was like, how did this thing get in here? How many more are there? Because when one bat is around, they come from a colony of many more. And if they're like in the attic or something.
And coming in through the roof.
Yes. I was thinking, oh my gosh, how bad is this going to get? Well, my buddy told me a lot of times, because I could not find anywhere where this thing got in the house. My buddy said a lot of times they might be hanging on your eave, like right in front of your door that you come in. And when you walk in, you scare them, and they scare into the house. And most likely that's what happened, because that's the only bat I've ever had. But this thing is flying around, and it was quite amazing to see how agile these things are, completely flying around in the house, trying to find out how to get out.
And you have a historical home, so it's high ceilings and lots of rooms, and
yeah.
So he was cruising. Did he ever make it down into the basement or
No? But guess what? I figured out how to get him out of the house without hitting him with a tennis racket like everybody else does. Because that's like the thing from the movie or whatever, you hit the thing with a tennis racket. No, in the moment I had this idea. Well, maybe if I shut the lights off, because he seemed to keep going towards rooms that had light, even though bats don't like light, but he was always going to the rooms that had light. And I was like, okay, I'm going to shut off all the lights and just leave my patio light on. Mm-hmm. So I shut off all the lights to the house. Mm-hmm. This is after a good 15 minutes of figuring out how to get this thing. At some point he was going to get tired. He hadn't landed. He's flying around consistently. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to shut off all the lights to the house, leave the patio light on. I left the patio light on. The second I turned off all the lights and had that patio light on, he went right outside. So there's a little trick. If you ever have a bat in your house, shut your lights off and then turn a light on outside.
Leave the door open.
Leave the door open. Boom, he flew right out.
So it must have been kind of dark outside because
it was dark. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that actually makes sense because I remember when I was down in Venezuela teaching English, we'd go longboarding at night, and it was the first time I'd ever experienced bats. But you could go out under the streetlights and you'd see them catching bugs, right?
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, maybe why they go to the light, because they know that the bugs are there. And you could go, and they would start coming down and circling
checking
my head. Oh, it was the weirdest thing, yeah. So, well, that's a good tip. That's a really good tip.
Yeah, I thought it worked perfect.
Yeah.
And the cool part is that it was an idea, and then as soon as I did the idea, it worked. So I want to say that the idea was what made it work.
Right.
It could have been random.
Well, this podcast was an idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we'll see. Yeah. Millionsoflisteners.com.
Yep. Sponsored by Mustache Cream. Hey, speaking of mustaches, dude, you have an epic mustache, man. When I met you, you could have taken over the Pringle logo. You know the Pringle man?
Yeah.
Didn't he have a mustache?
Yeah.
Is that the right guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. At least back in the day.
Yeah.
Dude. So you've always had this epic mustache, and how do you treat it? What do you do?
I don't do anything, dude. And I'm actually rocking a beard right now, so.
Yeah, but your mustache is definitely accentuated. I love it, man. I ain't talking smack.
Well, maybe we should at some point just go mustache style.
Dude, I've got okay. Another squirrel, but in relation to mustaches. We're down in Des Moines last week. Hold on. Okay. We're down in Des Moines last week. It was our first tour stop on our way to southeastern Oklahoma. And we pull into this venue, and we're just making friends and trying to figure out future places that we want to play. And we're at this bar called the Yacht Club. Great little dive bar. They have full bands.
Doesn't sound like a dive bar.
Oh, but it's right. It doesn't. I was expecting like
The yacht club.
Yeah, and like maybe maybe I need to dress up. Well, we're hanging out there, and there's this guy, and his name is Rod. He became a friend of ours. But man, this guy, and earlier this morning, there's this awesome breakfast place called Mullets. And it's so fun to go in there, and all the art on the walls, it's all like old 80s pictures. Like it's a mullet themed place. So very appropriate because Rod, he didn't have a mullet, but he had this mustache that connected all the way up to his sideburns.
Yeah.
And it was so cool, man. Like it was just, it was so funny. And he ended up coming and singing with us that night. And
So the question would be, though, if it was that cool,
why don't I do it?
Why don't you do it?
I don't know.
I know.
I'm single, and I'm trying to, yeah.
Yeah, but girls aren't looking. Well, maybe they are, but they're going to be more attracted to the fact that you're a musician playing on
I'd
stage.
rather them fall in love with me for who I am versus the mustache ride.
Well, fall in love with you for who you are, then
Grow a mustache.
grow a mustache. Do whatever you want.
Amen. I'm cool with that. Totally cool with that.
Your dad was a mustache guy, wasn't he?
Oh, he still is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's mustachio.
Yeah, my dad was a mustache guy.
Yeah. I've done the mustache a couple times.
I know girls. At some point, social media in the recent era has taken the mustache and turned it into a child pedophilia thing. Like, why do you have to be just because you rock a mustache, you're a porn stash, or they call it a porn stash or a pedo stash? What the hell?
Yeah,
it's not fair because that's you only got one face, and you can rock sideburns, you can rock a mustache, you can rock a goatee,
or the Amish thing,
But they've taken mustaches out of the equation.
Yeah,
it's not cool anymore.
It's too redneck.
Yeah, it's redneck.
It's redneck.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with that.
I don't know. I like those mustache festivals, man. There's some big mustaches out there.
Mm-hmm.
I grew mine out before I just trimmed mine, and I had it going on, and I started twisting them, and I thought it was cool, man, just trying to twist them, but I never could get the twist right. They'd always kind of get all messed up.
I know, because it's not the twist. Remember when I had the big handlebar one? It's not the twist.
You comb it?
No, it's it's flat.
You train it. I've got curly hair. I think it's harder for me to do that.
You haven't let it go long enough.
Yeah, well, I did let it go long enough.
Girl stopped calling you, and
yeah,
that was long enough.
My girlfriend broke up with me. She's like, "I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore."
But some of the remember Fight Club?
Yeah,
that girl liked mustaches.
Well,
remember?
Yeah.
Who wants to go for a mustache ride? I do.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
That thing you texted me, that guy, did he have a mustache?
He did for a minute.
All right. Hey, we'd like to reach out to anybody that is listening, and make sure you find us on Facebook or something, and let us know if about the whole mustache situation, and then should we bring the mullet back?
Well, if you're gonna go mullet, then you have to consider the mustache. There could be a way to get mustaches back in. Now, they kind of are with the hipster guys with the tight pants and the no socks thing. Yeah. But we already know that those guys are fake for the most part. I don't want to offend any of you guys out there, but it's a fad. It's going to go away. We know that.
I can't even fit into skinny jeans, man.
Well, you got to get the right size, bro.
What? Extra wide hips? I can't button them. I tried.
Well, you get the right size, but you get the you don't get the relaxed fit or the comfort fit. You get the standard
tapered
issue, standard issue jeans.
Yeah,
they make them.
I like boot cut. I'm more a boot cut kind of guy.
Yeah, and we'll see. That's another thing. Let's bring back bell bottoms then.
That's what I'm talking about. I really like bell bottoms.
Well, in an era where all these movies are being redone because they can't think of new ideas that can sell to make enough money to cover the cost of making a movie. So they're like, well, if we can't, okay, this is going to cost too much money. So I guess let's just redo Mary Poppins. Well, I guess I didn't realize right out of the gate that the Mary Poppins is actually a sequel, but it spawned that thing in me saying that, why is everybody remaking these movies? Why can't they just come up with a new awesome plot that, that's going to be that blockbuster? Well, it seems like all the blockbusters right now are literally remakes of all these other blockbusters. And that annoys me. Personally, it annoys me.
I know in the I think in Hollywood it's something like, I heard this weird fact the other day, and I may be wrong, but it was something like 9,000 movies worldwide are released a month or a year worldwide. Isn't that crazy? With the whole Netflix and the Hulu and the streaming services, it's like anybody can make a movie now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, music is the same way, man. Mm-hmm. Like literally, if you want to only listen to local recorded music even, or live music, or local produced music, you can listen to that endlessly. You would never have to listen to the same song twice. It's millions and millions and millions and millions of songs that are, if 10% of those are good songs, there's still more than that's ever hit the top 100. They don't get picked up, a good song or not, if you don't have those connections, if you don't have that in with the big producer, then your awesome song that could hit the hearts of millions of people will never get heard. And that part of it it's kind of sad.
It is sad, but at the same time, Apple, they were the big ones that I think put the power of self-producing in our hands.
Yeah.
I remember before Apple bought Logic was a German company, eMagic, like version 5.1 or whatever. And then Apple came out with GarageBand,
which was a platform of that.
It started with GarageBand, then they bought Logic from eMagic, and then basically turned Logic into the paid professional software of what GarageBand is. GarageBand's cool. It's especially for someone that's just getting into music and recording, and even on the road. I've got an album that I did with a friend of mine. We used to tour for a couple years, and we produced a whole album in makeshift home studios while we were on the road using GarageBand.
Yeah,
and that's what it does. Is everybody's become empowered to be heard. And it's like the squirrel population, right? Getting too many squirrels, and it's like, okay, well, which one's my favorite?
We need to start shooting them.
Yeah, no, it's we live in a very interesting day and age. You have a beautiful studio, man. Your studio is awesome. Wild Horse I love coming here. It's got just a great ambiance. You got all these instruments, vintage, and you're a great engineer. You got a great ear. You're a great drummer, and I feel lucky to have met you, because it's like this is my passion too. So thank you for having this place, and in this podcast we're going to be bringing in local artists and kind of focusing more on singer-songwriters. We'll have some bands, and have them in at the end of the show to play something they've written, and it's going to be original. I think it should be. I really like to hear original creation of the human condition, right?
100%.
And then try to help our friends be heard and support that. And that's kind of what Third Wheel Project's been about since the beginning. So
yeah. I'm more than excited to showcase, and make sure that at the end of every podcast that we do showcases some local talent, and it doesn't have to just be music. Local talent. If you can do it in front of a microphone, we want you on.
Yep.
Comedians,
Tell your backstory.
storytellers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yep.
yes.
So yeah, we're going to be searching you guys out. So please respond to the Facebook page or the YouTube video. Give us contact information so we can reach out to you as well.
And we'll start with the people that we already know. And I think one of our first guests, we should maybe get Steve Pointer and Brad up here, because I know that they've been working with you and recording their next album. And I love Steve's writing. He's in his voice and in his storytelling. He's just a teddy bear. He looks like he eats grizzly bears for breakfast, and he's got the most infectious laugh you'll ever hear. And so I'm excited to start reaching out to these people and get them in here and show them the studio. And then Wild Horse has a sister studio out in New Richmond, and it's quite a bit smaller, but still kind of a cool vibe and cool scene. And maybe sometime we can do something over there, do a podcast over there. I got a koi pond in my studio.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And your studio is perfect for tracking in a vibe situation. Mm-hmm. Vibe is everything. Mm-hmm. Vibe situation.
Not as cool as this studio. This is a pretty cool studio.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Locations and vibe are what really do it. And you got a good vibe there.
You smoke some chicken and some brisket.
You one-up me there. Yeah. I digress on food.
Yeah. So if you're wanting to produce your next album, if you want to be fed while doing it, just let Daryl know and he'll send you in my direction. Or we could bring a smoker over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, vice versa. Let's,
Yeah.
I'll bring my smoker over there. What does that even mean?
I don't know. You got a family. You got 3 beautiful daughters and a beautiful wife. And, they're just... You're a lucky dude, and
well, thank you.
Are you ever gonna try for a boy?
Well, I tried for a boy 3 times, and now I have 3 daughters. So there's that.
Yeah,
and a wife. So I like to tell people, I got 3 daughters and
I'm sorry,
a wife.
But your wife is hot, bro.
Well, thanks.
Just so you know, she's just a heart of gold, and that's cool. I'm glad you guys moved to Stillwater. We were neighbors for a little bit before I moved out to New Richmond and bought a house.
Ditched us.
Well, I didn't ditch you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I can't walk up here.
It takes petroleum to visit now.
Yeah, petrol fuel.
Well, cool. So I think that probably concludes this segment, and I think we should go on to maybe some of our funnier shit too, like
yeah, I mean, we do have some guests lined up.
Yes,
that maybe we could bring in, and anybody out there listening, if you got somebody with a good sense of humor that you'd like us to prank phone call, and we're all about that. Like we got some different characters that we can kind of dive into, and
yes, in each episode we're going to try to do one little prank call. We're going to have a band or a musician or a talent of some sort on, regardless of the talent. If there's a talent that can be captured with a microphone, we are videoing these as well. And so we have, and we're going to get deeper into the video side too, because there is more talent than just that you can capture with a microphone.
Yeah, we actually have a guy that's going to be coming in and being a part of this that is going to help us with all the video cuts and the camera angles. And then when we go out remote, like on a fishing trip or when we want to go feature a new business or one of the local businesses that supports the music scene.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yep. And just local businesses too, to be able to plug your business and what you do, reach out to us, because we can bring you in and interview you, and we can talk about your business, because we'd like to talk about our businesses. We want to talk about other people's businesses. We want to just be kind of a community-based podcast that, it's not just about us. Of course, this first episode, it's just me and Chris. And
Chris and Daryl.
Or I should say Chris and Daryl. Podcast. Say that again. Because it's just the Chris... Because it's just... Hold on, I can edit this out. Because, after all, it is just the...
You're Daryl.
And I'm Chris. After all, it is the
Chris
and Daryl
Podcast.
And we're here to help everybody. This is not about us.
And have fun, and just talk about different perspectives and opinions, and everybody respectfully has their own, and we're never bashing on opinion, but we do play kind of like a devil's advocate.
Yep.
Just so the conversation goes somewhere, and we never want to offend anybody. That's one of our things, and that's kind of why we went with the blue and the red light, and both sides of the spectrum, and we're both white dudes, so it's like red, white, and blue, go America.
Yes, I like that. Yes, red, white, and blue.
So hey, we're gonna go on to our next segment here, and thanks for listening. Okay. I'd like to introduce Cassandra Cole into the podcast, our very first podcast, and so this is Cassandra Cole, awesome singer-songwriter. Thank you for coming today.
Yeah.
And all your stories are great. Like, we're going to talk forever. So tell us your story about the eye, because this is super hilarious. I just didn't want to get too far, and all of a sudden it's like, who is this chick?
Yeah.
Because she's ridiculously ridiculous.
I'm like that chick in a basement, formerly known as just a house, attached from the main.
With no stairs.
And only shoes.
And you don't
no
have
socks.
to wear socks unless you prefer to wear house shoes or slippers. Back to the eye. So
you used to have a bum eye.
well, no,
glass
I
eye.
had amblyopia.
Okay, what's that?
Well, we'll get to the glass eye. I had amblyopia is a lazy eye, but it didn't wander. There's a difference, and I make that
it was
very
lazy.
clear. It was lazy, so
Just slept.
my right eye did all the work for my left eye. So growing up, everybody always told me, like, don't ever hurt your good eye. I'm like, okay. So every day after
Okay,
school...
I'll get right on that.
Yeah, okay.
How do you not hurt
Well,
your
guess
red eye?
what she did.
Well, hang on. Don't
I'm
you know,
not.
okay.
We can edit
So
that
every
out.
day after school, I would go to eye therapy. I wore an eye patch, a pirate patch. So I had huge frizzy hair, gap in my front teeth, and a pirate patch. I was attractive.
A lot of good-looking older women, or
Whoa!
mature women, I should say,
Yeah.
had that same story. My wife's the same exact
It's
way.
called the
Really?
ugly duckling.
Yeah.
It's
No,
a story. Remember, the ugly
wife-
duckling turns into a swan.
My wife
Yeah.
has
a
the
compliment.
exact same story so far.
Really?
So, yeah, very similar.
Yeah, I was like super skinny and
Okay.
yeah. Got made, what did they say? If you turn sideways, we can't see you anymore. I'm like, you're funny. I can't see you, but when I can. So anyways, yeah, moved to Georgia, got horribly bullied. And I was really, really nice to the point of I couldn't defend myself. So I was always like, oh, I just read my books and write my songs. And then I moved to Boston, and then I got gum put in my hair. And then I was like, story's over. Fists are coming out. So I learned.
The nice girl went to sleep.
Yes, I got in. Yeah. Yes, I defended myself.
Good.
Then from Boston, I moved to Minneapolis in 2000.
What brought you to Minneapolis?
My parents moved here a couple years before I did, and I wanted to check out the music scene and theater. I also was in a lot of theater productions.
Did you have your eye on it for a while?
In what? Minneapolis? No, they moved here, and I actually called it the flyover zone because you fly over it to get to better places, which is horrible.
song.
Okay, but it's coming full circle because
Okay.
when I came here, I was going to save up money and go to New York. But then I really liked Minnesota, and I ended up having 2 sets of twins, to make a very condensed story short, 2 9-year-olds, 2 5-year-olds, and I think it's affordable. You can own a home, and I think there's great opportunity as a musician, as well as education's important to me as well. So I think the school systems are great. I went to the U out here.
Yes, everything you're saying is exactly the reason I think we live here, and why a lot of people find it to be a good place to live.
It is.
For everything you just said.
It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
There's no smog or traffic, as you know, in LA.
Yeah. And the people are genuinely pretty nice.
They are. It's hard to break in, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
People are born and raised, and it's like, well, my grandpa went to school with her grandma. And they're like, so they like me, but I'm not going to be in anybody's wedding.
Yeah. Well, and then you get the passive aggressiveness from this city.
Yes, and people always
Yikes.
say that about me. I'm very direct.
No, that's good, and you should always be that way.
So
Oh,
is
I'm
Minnesota
going to.
nice
Yeah.
the opposite of that?
Yeah, Minnesota nice is I'm going to act nice around you, and then
but
as soon
talk
as you
about
leave,
you later.
Yeah.
So it's not an actual like compliment.
It's an actual
almost.
thing, but
No,
I
we have manners. Our manners are like supersede like honesty almost in a sense.
Okay.
I notice that. I mean, I think a lot of good people realize that and try to.
I've always just tried to be nice.
Yeah.
You know, and then I hear Minnesota nice, and so I'm like, oh, cool, everybody's nice. And then,
are you from here?
No, I'm from Alaska.
Ah.
But someone was, so I've been here 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I thought Minnesota nice, like, oh, everybody's just nice, you know. It's all lutefisk and pickled herring and
I've never
everybody
had
ice
either of
fishes.
those.
None of which anyone in Minnesota eats.
Well, they do up north, I'm
The old
sure.
people do. Well, and older people.
But I didn't understand what Minnesota nice was until someone was real sarcastic with me, and one of my bandmates was like, oh, that's Minnesota nice, you know? And it was like they were super nice, but then they were sarcastic almost, like...
They're just not looking to get into an argument.
Right, passive-aggressive.
Yeah.
And if you see somebody, it's very common. You could know somebody died in their family. They just lost their job, their house burnt down. And if you ask them how they are, oh, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah.
So people hold their feelings
That's
in.
Minnesota nice.
They just hold their feelings in.
Yeah.
Don't talk
and
about it enough.
Like if I'm having a rough day and you came to me and said, hey, Cassandra, what's up? I'd say, I'm horrible. You know, I almost
Right.
lost my eye today. Full circle back to the eyes.
Yeah, we never we never finished the eye thing. Let's do that now. That
Okay,
you touched on it
fast
again.
forward, some odd years.
Now that we're looking at that subject again.
Now that we're
And we talked about how she
reinvestigating.
had her eye on Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Funny eye joke. So I'm in the kitchen with my brother, and we're whipping the towel. You know, like, I don't know what
Yeah.
you'd call it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sound effect. Insert
Pissing
here.
each other off.
Yeah, we do that a lot. And so we were really wailing on each other. And so there's still a debate. If he was here right now, he'd be freaking out. And if he hears this, he will. But we thought it was his fault. But, okay. So we're whipping the towel in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, it felt like my eye got shattered. Like, I dropped to the floor, you can't believe, in a puddle. I was
Your bad eye.
screaming.
The one that
My
was lazy.
good eye.
Oh, so your good eye, the one the
Snapped
doctor
your
was...
good eye.
Well, hang on, we thought so. So I was screaming like, not my good eye.
Oh,
My
no.
gosh. My sister's like, oh my gosh, Cassandra, get up. You're so over dramatic. And I'm like, I'm bleeding from my eye. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the girl with the glass eye. Nobody will like me. And to anybody who has a glass eye out there, like, my heart goes out to you, and it's totally cool. Maybe you should cut that part out. Or not.
Nah,
Okay. So
No, that's
anyways,
true.
I meant it. I'm like, nobody will pay attention when I sing. Like, my mom's like, stop it, Cassandra. Just try to open your eye. I couldn't even open it. So when I peeled it open, I was bleeding on externally as well as internally. Like, you could see blood. I couldn't see it. I literally no vision at all. And I learned something with the damaged eye. When you open the damaged one, you're in so much pain. You have so much nerve endings that your other eye won't operate. It's not like you can just hold your other eye open. They function as a set.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just totally blind. So, and my brother's a firefighter. So he came over and went in full service mode. Like, I need you to calm down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's happening.
How old
I'm
are you?
shaking.
How old were you?
Oh, this was
At this
just
time?
2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm 36. I'm proud of it. Wow.
I'm 36 too.
Ooh, what's up? Proud of my age. 'Cause you know what?
This old fart
it's
over
like,
here.
what if I say I'm 60, but I look 30? I'd address the age.
So your eyeballs are rolling around in your
1982?
head.
Yes, you too?
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
April 9th.
July 30th.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Like, do you know something I don't know?
No.
I think I'm a lion.
I was
A
just.
Leo.
You always hope for somebody to have the same.
I know. Well, it would be cool if it was the same.
Yeah.
We could have just ended the show right
Yeah.
there.
Be like,
Who cares about the eye story? We have the same birthday. It was nice to meet you all. Cassandra
yeah, have
Cole
a great
out.
day. And
My
until next
basement.
week.
House, place. So, yes, they led me out to some emergency on-call eye doctor, and he doesn't deal with this, and he was freaking out. From what I could hear, my senses became heightened. I was in so much pain. It was a horrible journey. I was on bed rest with the eye for like weeks. And then I had to see the eye doctor like daily. It was revisiting my youth. It was great. But I grew a new pupil. So it shattered like behind my eye. And then for about 6 months, I looked high in one eye. So every morning I woke up and I was like,
Half high.
hello.
Hi.
Half high. Is anybody ever half high?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Half eye, half high.
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
Yeah, no. It
Okay.
was funny. I'm
Sorry.
going to
Well,
laugh.
it-
No, it was.
She's like, fuck you guys.
No, I'm
No.
enjoying my time here.
Cool.
I like revisiting painful part of my past with humor.
No, this
Well,
is interesting.
it-
First
No,
of all,
it's
you would have
interesting.
never
Beautiful
known that you had an
eyes.
eye problem.
No,
so
well, they
we're,
said that to
obviously
me.
this is going to come full circle to where you have
Yes.
normal eyes.
So no. Yeah. So they told me eventually you'll get to this place where you just won't even notice. And it took months for my eyes to learn to work together again. Surprisingly enough. So I would read things and I'd like close one eye to kind of, because it was so blurry, and yeah, that was fun. And then now I still need glasses. I just haven't picked up a pair. I have some vision loss in that eye, but nothing crazy.
Just like
And-
blurriness or...
Yeah, it's just normal, as if, you're just getting older, I guess, and need help reading. But if I close it, sometimes I'm like, oh, why is it a little convoluted?
Fuzzy. Or...
Yeah, a little bit. Just probably like I need glasses. But I'm so used to it now
Yeah.
that I don't care.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, and I don't know if it's me getting old or maybe
Probably is.
I'm dying.
Oh,
No, sometimes like I feel like I get like a cross vision.
you could be. You need to go see the eye doctor. I have a great one for you.
No, I actually do. Sometimes all of a sudden it's like I have to hold my hand right here. If you ever see me doing this at like a show, it's because all of a sudden it feels like I'm, crossing my eyes.
That could be a sign of a migraine.
Maybe
Well-
you need to start dotting your T's
And crossing your eyes.
instead of crossing your eyes.
I totally stole your punchline.
Dude. I'm trying to talk about feelings here. No, but I don't know what it is. It's like whatever. I put my hand up here and it all comes back together and it's fine. And it happen. It might happen like once every couple of months or something. But it's weird when it happens. Like it kind of freaks me out a little
Not
bit.
gonna lie, it sounds like a migraine.
But I don't get migraines.
I don't either. So one time I was bringing in groceries, and all of a sudden I saw like not sparkle, like color coming in. I felt really weird. I thought I was having a stroke.
They're called ocular migraines. I get
Yeah,
them.
I've
had
never
them since
had one.
I've had them since I was in high school.
They're horrible.
But does your
Yes.
head hurt or is it
No,
just
not
no.
at first. It was
No,
just
yeah,
that.
you
And
get the
then
visual.
it
You get this
hits.
visual thing that actually kind of clouds. It almost
I've
makes
had
you go
that before.
blind.
I've had that
Yeah.
before.
And it looks like jaggedy
Yeah.
rainbows and weird geometric shapes.
And then it hits you.
And then that goes away
I
and
was
you get
so
a chronic headache.
nauseous. I thought I was going to die. But things can happen before a migraine. Funky with your eye.
Yeah, but that
But I
sounds
don't
to
get
me,
a headache.
No, that sounds to me like a lazy eye. Like one of your eyes just has got
But no,
way out of whack.
because I'll grab
and-
somebody. I'd be like, Cassandra, look at me in my eyes right now, and
Exactly.
I'm seeing cross-eyed. Like, what are my eyes doing right now? I've never taken a selfie, and I should, but I can't find the button.
You should
I'm like, because I'm like,
go to the eye doctor and tell them, what if you have brain tumor or something?
Well,
I always go to the worst places.
Yeah, that was dark.
It was.
But that's
He
not a
said
bad idea.
death, but you should rule
If
it
you have
out.
health insurance, just go say, hey, this is what's happening to me. It's really weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Is there an explanation for why one of my eyes would
Maybe
just
that's
go
what
whack?
Google is for. We should.
we're all
No,
dying.
we shouldn't.
Googleize it.
We shouldn't Googleize.
No, you should go to the doctor.
Yeah,
No Google eyes, nothing.
no, because it'll tell you a whole bunch of shit you don't want to hear.
So true. Then you go in and
You know
it's
what's
like,
gonna
oh,
be
it's just a
weird?
headache.
Yeah,
You know what's gonna be weird is tomorrow I'm gonna use Google, and you know how you pull up Google and it's in the above the search bar, and you know how you have your two O's, like how sometimes they do art.
yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be
two
one eye
eyes.
like this.
Oh my god.
Because my phone heard me.
Yes. That's messed up.
I
It's
hate
probably
Surrey.
true.
Siri.
You know, like
random, but-
Alexa and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That I got one for free, so we had one in the house, or we have one in the house. I don't know how
Don't
to
trust it.
No, definitely don't trust it.
Really? I love Google.
No, but see, here's the thing: is
plays
if they're going to
music.
market to you, and you're going to get bombarded with marketing anyway, from what they think they need to market you at, then
Why
hear me
not?
talk and market to me what I actually care about, and that's what they do.
That doesn't bother me. I don't care.
Yeah, so
I just
then-
asked to play music. That's what or my kids will go.
But she's still listening.
What is 6 times 4? I'm like, stop asking.
No, but when you say
Google.
when your kid keeps asking you for a certain playhouse, and then you keep seeing that playhouse on,
Oh, then
so
gotcha.
like that's what I'm saying. So like, if you're going to market to me, then listen to me. Because I have nothing to hide in the house.
No.
So just, okay. Market what
Yeah, that
I
doesn't bother
am
me.
talking about then.
I don't care.
You actually know me better than I do, I guess.
But what I don't like is when I'm talking in a normal conversation and my phone is probably not off, so I have to be careful. And I'll say, oh yeah, I was working at Apple Spice per se, because this happens frequently to me. And then all of a sudden it says, calling so-and-so from Apple Spice. And I'm like, stop it! Like, and I run, grab it, and hang up. And then this person calls back and you're like, oh, hello. Yeah, I don't like when they call people you don't want to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So my eyes are fine.
You guys are fine.
So we never actually, we interrupted
okay.
again. We never actually got...
It wasn't the towel. It was, okay, so I had metal tips on my hoodie. So we actually have it on video. And we slowed it down, and we could see it in slow motion. One of the strings go and hit my eye. So if you have any metal tips on your hoodies, I've cut them all off. They're dangerous.
Oh, and it just hit your cornea and
Yeah, it
ripped
just hit my eye. I could have lost my eye. But your eyes are definitely not as fragile as you think they are.
Well, they heal. I know they heal pretty good.
Yeah.
Unless I get an eyelash in it, and then I'm pretty much screwed. Like
One of those things that hang out right next to your
man,
eyes.
I'm just like, stop everything. And one time I got 2 in each eye, and I'm not sure if it was an eyelash or an eyebrow, but oh man, that's
Definitely
like
an eyebrow by the size of those honkers.
Did I just cut him? I just cut him down. I don't have a doctor for that. Or so, Cassandra, let's talk about your music, because your music is awesome, and
Thank you,
we'd
Chris.
love to play one of your songs at the end of this podcast. And I've seen you online, and I've seen you playing guitar and writing your songs, and you write a couple songs a day, right?
I do.
And that's so inspiring, and it's awesome.
Thank
and your
you.
kids do that.
Yeah.
One of your daughters does.
Yes, one writes almost daily as well.
That's all.
In her blood. And the other ones love music too. They do.
Right? One's a break dancer. One's an entrepreneur, probably.
Yeah. One that loves playing the drums. And I just bought them ukuleles for Christmas. They're loving that.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
How is the one that's writing music every day? How is she capturing her writing? Is she writing?
She writes it in a little notebook. I give her notebooks all the time.
Okay.
But she'll come home and she'll go, Mom, I need your phone right now. Don't talk to me. I just need to record this melody I have in my head.
What about? Okay,
I'm
and
like,
that's
oh my gosh,
question
I
is,
love you.
What about the melody? How is she recording the melody?
So she records. So I use the same. I don't know how other people do it, but I use a voice recording app.
Yeah, on your
so
phone?
yes, on my
Yeah,
phone.
yeah.
So I just have my own system. I've kind of taught her the same. Like
Okay.
you have to document everything that comes in because you'll forget it.
Yeah.
Then you have to document what you've written, and you got to pair them together so then you can look back and write any notes down. That you want it
That's
to sound like, or how So then I'll sit with her at the guitar sometimes, and she'll say, "No, play faster." This. But,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what song are you gonna like? Are we gonna play today? Like at the end of all this?
Yes. Well, I think we should play my latest single out. So it's called Caught Up. And I actually won a contest to work with Maddie Amendola in New York, who's amazing. He's played drums for Aerosmith and gone on tour with Adam Levine, and he works with a lot of amazing, talented artists. And yeah, I won, which was great, out of a lot of candidates. And he just believes in my music and what I can do, and he did a great job producing the song. I wrote the song in my bathroom, where I write a lot of my songs, or anywhere I can. But
Where were you sitting?
I was oh my gosh. Well, you know what?
I wanted to go there.
I retract. I did not record this one in my bathroom. I wrote this on my bedroom floor. I remember it. Right on the carpet. And then when I was a finalist, he said, "Can you send me it over?" And I was at a friend's birthday party. And I said, "Sure, not a problem." And I'm like, "I need your guitar." And he goes, "What?" I'm like, "I need your guitar in your bathroom." So I grabbed his guitar and I sang it in my bathroom and sent it over.
Because the reverb in there, it's almost like a
Yeah,
it's almost
it
like
just
a mini
adds
church.
a fullness. And I want it to sound as professional as possible doing it off my phone.
Yep.
And I wanted to send over an entire song, not just snippets.
Yeah.
So Instagram, I post little clips of me playing, but those are just highlights of what I've already written.
What's the song about?
Caught Up?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's about a lot of things. But basically, being a mom of 2 sets of twins and being so busy in our everyday lives, it's really easy to lose sight of your dreams and who you are at your core. And also in a relationship, it's so easy to get caught up and not give respect or attention that's so needed and well-deserved in your partner. So that's where the song derives from at its core intensity.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
can't wait to listen to it in that content.
Thank you.
No, that's cool.
I've had so much fun with you guys. I want to keep chatting. And I'd love to come back on and play you some more songs if I can.
Yeah, we can do that.
We
Great.
definitely should. And where are you playing anywhere around Stillwater soon?
Yes, I play around Stillwater, but the gig or the show I really want people to come to is going to be March 22nd at Astor Cafe.
Okay.
I'll have a full band and a great opening number.
So where can we find you
originals.
if we don't have your phone number or if we
Do you
can't
want my
spell your
number?
name?
No.
No.
How
Off
about
the
my
air, yeah, we'll
website?
take your phone number.
Yeah.
But yeah, the website. What's the 555
That's what I was going to say, but you wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
you
you
wouldn't
stole
let
your
me say
punchline.
it. Thank
Nope.
you.
Let's-
Remember, I'm funny. Let me be funny. So my website, I think I'm supposed to say HTTP, but if you look up www.Cassandra Cole, I should spell it.
Yeah, you should.
CASSANDRA, Cole, COLE, music, music.com. You will see just a brief explanation of my background and my latest single that you can listen to. I used to think that you look so different, that you could speak and say what you needed. But your words are caught in the middle, as we just can't seem to settle. Caught up in between the lines. Caught up, misread the signs. Caught up, say. Caught up, say. Caught up in between the lines. Caught up, misread the signs. Caught up, say. Caught up, say. I used to think that you were so perfect, that you could take your burdens and